cool cats, cool dudes, and that Jones fella that scored for Luton. Welcome to We All Love Leeds, the show where we discuss our love of Leeds. Ben, how are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, mate. How are you? I've been better, football-wise.
I've had worse weekends, but, you know, let's be fair. Probably had a lot better. There is someone else we do need to say hello to, though. Sorry, mate.
Who would be that? I'll get back to that in a sec. Carry on.
I was just about to say, just got to say hello to someone that's currently rearing his head, because I've looked at the calendar, it's April. It's obviously time for Hi, Dr. Leeds. So let's all say hello to Dr. Leeds, of course, who's turned up for his monthly, I mean
Will you
yearly.
Fucking get rid of him, you cunt. Get rid of him. Yeah, I was just saying there. Rest his soul and bless his soul, Bandi. I got to curse him for putting Daniel Farker in that fucking intro. He's laughing at me now, I know he is.
I could say some very controversial things about my beliefs revolving around Leeds United and religion and all this. But
I'm sure we'll get to it.
Yeah. Also, just want to say hello to Rosie, and I know she's not in here right now, of course, because the show's the
start. She was here yesterday with that. I actually replied to that, but it's not there.
Doesn't show up for some reason. I can't explain why.
It did say, for all those who are watching, it did say, and if you don't want to sub to Mr. Tom, you can sub to me as an alternative.
You can sub to Richard Cranium?
Yeah,
you could sub to Richard Cranium. But also, obviously, we're going to say hello to Zanzi. And evening, Lord Thomas. Thank you very much, Zanzi. He's a nice guy, that Zanzi. I won't out his real name, but he's a nice fella. He's a nice fella. He'll out here enough himself, but still, I don't want to do the doxing thing. Anyway, so Ben, I suppose I should do it right now. This isn't going to be about Leeds, is it? Everything is about Leeds, Homer. I could do it every week for some reason. Anyway, that being said, what be up, bitches? As they say on the hood, in the hood, on the streets, the mean streets.
The answer to that question is Sheffield United and Burnley be up, and we be below them.
There you go. Has the intro gone? We all love Tom. We all love Tom. I should say hello to Ben too. My bad.
That's okay. Look. You say hello to Tom. I'll take it as a hello as well. It's fine. It's fine.
We've also got a hello from Lexington, Kentucky.
Lawrence.
With Lawrence. Come on, you Lawrence.
Coy.
Yeah. How you doing, Lawrence? So, you know what? We usually do this pomp and circumstance around this, I suppose, but the match will happen at Kenilworth Road. That's where the game was.
That is the worst fucking shit or fucking ground ever. That should be illegal, that fucking pitch, and how close it is to that. That is just dross.
I know everyone's like, oh, it's such a quaint little stadium where you go through people's gardens and stuff like that. But because we didn't win there, it's a bit like, oh crap,
Look,
there goes the neighbourhood.
I'm not being bitter in any way, right? Because we didn't deserve it.
We totally are, though.
Right? But they have to be the worst fucking football team I have ever seen. The up and under and the hoof, and that is just the most awful football I have ever watched on a professional level. Yesterday, it was just, what was that? They've just come down from the Premier League. What the fuck was that shit? They went through a 10-minute period in the second half where they were just trying to kick it into space.
This is what upset me about the game. A lot of the game upset me, unsurprisingly, of course. But the fact of the matter is, when the ball, Luton were knocking the ball up in the air, as is their right to do, as a defending team in a situation, just get rid of the ball. I'm thinking, oh, why don't Tanaka just trap the ball? And then just move it along the floor a bit. But no, Tanaka's like, no, I want to play head tennis fest as well. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Pardon my language.
I think there must have been some sort of telegraph pole wire. They was trying to knock pigeons off it or something we couldn't see. Or trying to kick it at drones.
Obviously, you're going to say hello to Anthony Herbert.
I watched, is it OK Football? Not a bad set of lads, the two lads, the Luton fans.
Yeah.
And they were buzzing with it. Absolutely buzzing with it.
I'll listen to their review. Standard? You'd have thought they won the match 5-1. To be fair to them, they're in a relegation battle, so of course they have every fucking right to be thrilled.
I totally get it why, but I was thinking, is that what it's come to in your lives? And listen, I guess technically they are still riding a high. But not 10 years ago, they were in York City's league, non-league. So they're still technically riding a high and maybe above where they naturally sit. So, but you just come down from the Premier League, man. That was shocking.
See, we'll go hello to Russ Morgan and hello to Ryan. Ryan, are you doing a live show following this over on your channel? As like a review of the week, to my understanding. So if you want to do, I was going to say put a link in, but I'm not sure it will actually show up. So obviously, as we were saying, this is the scene of the crime. Is what
that makes it look nice.
Yeah.
Was that right when I was seeing that yesterday? That the stanchions for the floodlights were actually inside the stands.
It feels like that could be true.
Yeah, there were an obstruction to certain seats.
You know, since Southampton beat Leeds in the playoff final, they've won just 5 league or cup games since then. 2 league cups, 1 FA Cup. Don't worry, all you Southampton fans out there. I know Zanzi's not one of them, but Southampton fans that happen to find their way here, don't worry, we have got your team covered in the Sunday roast. Because of course we have. It's going to be the biggest Sunday roast ever, some may say. That some being me. Because it is, because I put it together, so I know it is. Anyway,
and so many of them tuned into our show last year.
They really did. That's the biggest show we did, was them coming on to see me cry after the Wembley game. I didn't actually cry, but metaphorically I was. And of course, Rosie's
we already knew what was happening before we kicked off.
Yes. How you doing? And Beers Gunner's driving home from work, so we'll try not to make him laugh.
I hope he's not texting and driving. I do not encourage that, people.
He'd be in a lot of trouble if we were actually funny.
I've got a Mr. Kipling apple pie.
Ooh.
Exceedingly good.
Excuse me. I've got a 95% eaten sandwich.
What's in the sandwich?
I think it might have been similar to last week. Bit of beef, mustard, piccalilli, bit of butter. It's usually what I have on
Flavour. Yeah.
Very nice. Is that the sequel to Driving Home for Christmas? And Russ Morgan, with I always love a warm apple pie. I know Russ Morgan enough to know that is not PG.
This one's cold.
6.777 recurring. Rosie's working it out as well.
You guys are drinking. You guys are eating apple pies and stuff.
You on?
I'm drinking a bourbon. I got a bourbon.
What bourbon you got? Looks posh.
Yeah, it's good.
Posh.
Good stuff. I'm still waiting for Lawrence to mail me a bottle, which he said he was. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it word by word.
How long ago was that? At least, I hope he still has it. At least it's aging.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Question, Mr. Tom, the 28th will be a good game. I know it's changed, obviously, it's referencing to Bristol City. And happy birthday to Annie Herbert. Do you know Annie Herbert was 77 at the weekend?
Was he? Happy birthday, Anthony.
Yeah, 77.
I read that wrong there from BX. I have a nice ice cold, and I read model, not Modelo. And then I visioned some frozen dead model sat in his seat.
It's like the start of Saw 3, some would say. Anyway, sorry for anyone who's seen that or hasn't. Can't afford bourbon due to new tariffs. And so your defeat to Southampton was a blessing in disguise, considering their demise since promotion. It may have been, but it's probably just going to... Oh, whatever. Yeah, we'll just go look. Yeah, totally blessing. John Lawrence, I thought John Lawrence was one person then, unfortunately. But John Lawrence is 108. He's probably forgotten your name. To which then John replies, "Be nice, Rosie. He's only 102. Or in dog years." So, that being said, let's have a look at the lineups for the game. And do you know what? They went one change for your Hatters, to which I immediately thought it must be the lad in the photo. And the lad in the photo was Isaiah Jones, and I was like, that's really nice of them to tag him in the photo, for me to know who the fuck he is. But then I fucking knew who the fuck he was about 15 minutes into the game, didn't I?
You did.
Pardon my language. Oh, and this is the lineup for Leeds United.
The day I've been waiting for.
Yep.
It was the day I've been waiting for.
Well, Ben,
he played all right. He gave me a nervous a couple of times with his kicks. But other than that, why has he not played before? He can catch a ball.
I'm not going to lie and say he was great at the kicking, but at the same point, I never had the same... I don't know what the right word is. I never had the same anxiety when they were peppering the ball in, and he was just standing there and going, "Pop," he was catching it.
Do you know what he's got? He's got a brain to think quickly and throw the ball out. Where Merrill will just stand there with it for 3 hours and let the full team take its shape again. He don't need to kick it; he can throw it.
And he
nearly set up a goal yesterday.
That's true. Why has Paul Heyman taken over from Director John? Well, that's quite a claim, Mr. Herbert. That's quite a claim. He smashed Sam Greenwood's pre-war movie quiz. That was an event for the ages. Well, actually, this time last Saturday, following the Swansea game, this is live footage of Daniel Farke making his team selection for yesterday. Something I should have done a long time ago. Change goalkeeper.
I've just received a notification. OK, Football's just started their phoning. So
they're phoning?
Rivaling, yeah, they're rivaling our airtime.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've got to leave. I've got a phone call to make. I'm going to phone OK Football. And for anyone who wondered, this is how they actually lined up. That Adebayo was a bit of a mess for our squad. And obviously, you've got a theory on Morris. And I don't feel I'm unfair in asking this, but if Morris had actually shot Tanaka in the face with a shotgun, would he have been booked?
No. He'd have probably moaned about it as well. What did I do?
Who's Paul Heyman?
I was doing my editing. He's wrestling guy. He's in charge of the Bloodline, am I right?
He's Roman Reigns' manager and CM Punk's manager.
Same thing, yeah. Same thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're not wrong. But he's the one, Rosie. If I get him more accurately, Sam Greenwood calls him Steve Ballmer. If that helps.
he thinks he's Paul Bearer and he isn't. That's the vibe I get from him.
And this is the Leeds United lineup. And do you know what? I only just realised that Piru was playing in the game. He started in the game. Didn't know it.
Well, Piru loses all his one-to-one duels, but yet don't get thrown under the bus like Ramazani, who gets 3 minutes to play. He's a fucking hypocrite.
Who owns WWE? That would be legally it's a company called TKO. Or I think it's Endeavour who owns the UFC. Mr. Tom, would you like a Leeds United quiz? I'm asking for a friend. Is that friend Anthony Herbert? You're not wrong, Ben, but you are. And how did he play after losing his duels?
Shite.
Oh, you're talking about Piru.
Yeah, she's going to play on the word duels.
I've got 3 concurrent conversations going on, so I was struggling to keep up. I was like, what the hell? Annie Herbert has no friends. In the words of Director John.
That's what's Anthony Herbert done to Narc John? Because John doesn't stare.
He said he looks like Paul Heyman, and I'm pretty sure
John Googled Paul
Heyman. Yeah. Yeah, why has Paul Heyman taken over from Director John? That is the actual genesis of this thread we've gone on.
I hope you know you're picking a fight with Anthony.
I don't think he knows much, apart from all the quiz questions he got right at my expense. But no, in all fairness, let's go on with the game. But before the game, obviously, it was the date where basically we'll pay tribute to Chris and Kevin. And as we alluded to it last week, obviously, because obviously the nearest home game to the date of the tragedy. But obviously, that game actually occurred on the date of the tragedy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's the case. I believe it's the 5th of April. And yeah, those fucking scumbags in Galatasaray. The fucking scumbags.
But I know we're a hated club in the UK, but you've got to give props to Swansea and Luton fans for the way they behaved with that as well.
Exactly. I kind of get the feeling, and I may be well out of pocket saying this, but it's the kind of thing that if 2 fans of any other club got murdered in a European away game, it would be a much bigger deal. But because it's 2 Leeds fans, the media kind of ran with well, what did Leeds fans do to encourage that? It's like, how do you encourage getting yourself killed? But still.
Absolutely nothing. Nothing but sit and take in foreign country whilst trying to enjoy themselves. Absolutely nothing to provoke that whatsoever.
I'm his friend, John, but I don't agree with the Paul Heyman comment because I don't know who he is. I like how Rosie's cast herself as the official arbitrator of this. Calling it a dispute is generous, but she's basically deciding what parts of it are actually. But fair enough. What was that, John? I didn't hear that. In the Battle of Wits, Anthony is unharmed. Unharmed. My Battle of Wits with the English language and reading it out clearly. We're living in Twilight Zone. And the white flag is being raised. White flag. Rosie is not a Paul Heyman guy. And any pish, you'll both get judoed. Now, if anyone wants to know what that means, should I actually use it? I think we'll bring it out. We'll bring it out because Rosie made the threat. I see that you know your judo well, because Rosie's a judo master. We'll do the other one as well, because it's not like we were actually sitting here talking about football. We could go off on this fucking bullshit tangent. But Rosie's also got a comic proving that she is indeed a judo master. Ben's face.
Only 12 cents.
12 cents. She's been a judo master that long that inflation couldn't even catch up. Sorry, Rosie. It's the bourbon talking.
She's that good a judo master that they didn't put the price of the magazine up.
An actual judo master. That's okay. I'm here to keep the peace. That's not in jeopardy. And 10 minutes away from my afternoon blunt. Today was stressful. Oh, we're meant to be talking about a football match, aren't we? The football match happened.
We're not.
Jones scored.
He's shit.
James
he is
scored.
though, isn't he? What's he done for 6 games? Not James. I like James. But what's Solomon done for 6 games? Solomon.
He's run down the side.
Where was he on that goal? Effective. Where was he on that goal yesterday? Do you know what I mean?
He should have scored. And I'll say. No,
I'm on about the one that where he left Junior all at sea on his own.
You can't leave Junior. I'll say if Patrick Bamford had missed. Well, this has been a usual thing this season. Has been very much if Patrick Bamford had been the one that missed, and you go any chance, Joseph against Burnley, for example, or yesterday the one that Solomon put wide from about 1 yard out, 2 yards out at most. Patrick Bamford's dog would need to be put in hiding. But still, and it was 1-1 at half time. And you know what? The game was so exciting. It was 1-1 at full time. And that's it. That's the show. That's the game. Leeds United drew 1-1 at Luton. Fuck my life. I miss smoking. I know I say that a lot, but it's never not true. Rosie, I'll smoke the blunt for the both of us.
Smoking, don't miss smoking. It's not good.
I bet you don't miss the money that you save by not smoking.
But do you save it, or do you just spend it on something else?
Oh no, you just waste it on something else, of course. But so what did we make of that? Thank you to Director John for putting this together. Of course, the absolute quality of it is unrivaled in all seriousness. So. We had more of the game, but I wouldn't necessarily say we did enough to deserve to win it.
No, but the thing being, right, is we couldn't put 3 passes together, but they could. We had more of the game in our backfield, just in the area, the back line. That's where we had the more of the game. Other than that, no, we didn't. One shot all second half. One shot.
At least you're not a New York Rangers fan too.
Yeah, thanks, John.
I was looking straight at Ben when that was said.
Thanks for them, John.
It's spent on everything 4 years ago and you miss it weekly. Well, I suppose bring up the rest.
It was the same as the Swansea game, mate. We didn't deserve to win yesterday. We didn't turn up. Against a decent team, we'd have got stuffed yesterday.
I think against a decent team, our team tries harder.
I've just got a feeling that it's down to he can't motivate players at 12 o'clock or 12:30.
I do not understand, and I never will understand, why as soon as that calendar hits the word April, we stop forgetting how to kick a football. And you could say, Tom, how can you say that? It's like, because I can list through the years where that occurred. Last year, year before. The only year we've won like 25%. I could be wrong, but it's lower than 30% of our games in April in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but also, right, you've got to look at how much money we've spent in January in the last 10 years.
Well, I can tell you how much that is. Not a lot.
That's a massive part of it. Fresh legs, new. It works. Yeah, every year we don't need to do it. We're all right. Our squad's good enough. It don't matter who owns the club. It's the same. Cellino, Bates, King GFH, Radrizzani, and now 49ers E.
That's actually really interesting you say that, Rosie, because Rosie has asked, what's the deal with Middlesbrough? They're so hit and miss. Well, if they're
find out.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dr. Leeds can actually cure that for Middlesbrough. Can I have a guess who Middlesbrough play next?
Leave him where he is. Fuck you.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Leeds. So, Rosie, from your history of our humour, who do you think Leeds are playing next? Or more importantly, who do you think Middlesbrough are playing next, based on everything that just happened in the last minute? Oh, and Sheffield United lost.
Yeah, thank God. Which, for those Leeds fans that watch KG doesn't know how football works and thinks that it's out of our hands. It's not out of our hands, because if we win all 6 of our games, we will go up automatically, because they have to play each other, and one or both will drop points. And we only need one of them to drop 2 points, and we're sound.
Strange, I don't know why that.
So it's well in our own hands, KG.
Seeing
as you like to criticise everyone's grammar and spelling and everything that they do, unless they contribute to your channel. I'm not a fan of subscriptions to YouTube shows, because you pay I don't even know what the price is for Netflix and that, but when you pay a subscription monthly for Netflix, right, you can watch that constantly all month. When you pay a subscription for a YouTube channel, you get 2-3 shows a week maximum. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. That's why I don't ask people to subscribe, like, and stuff, because if you like the show, you're gonna like it. If you don't like the show, you don't like the show. But I'm not going to ask you to like the show before you've seen the show.
It's interesting you say this, because I prefer heel Ben. Ben's always heel. I don't know what this thing is, where basically everyone's like, oh, Ben's a lovely guy and Tom's a fucking prick. No, we're both heels.
We're both fucking miserable because it's April.
Fucking heel Ben. What? This is Ben. And Ben, to confirm this, what I would say is basically, if I ever remotely got a YouTube channel enough where I basically was offered, I can offer a subscription, it'd be £1. It'd just be £1. That's it. Give me £1.
I'd pay £1 for the amount of times you're actually on YouTube if it was all under one umbrella for you, because then that's £1 worth of content all day. But $2.99, $3.99, right? When you're doing two free shows a week, and 2 of them shows are for 10 minutes, and then you get the arse lickers in the chat that just agree with everything he says. I like our chat. I do love our chat, right? Our chat is the most random, fucked up chat on YouTube.
Our chat is filled with the biggest pricks in YouTube, and it's fantastic.
All under one roof with 2 pricks hosting.
But not Russ Morgan, of course. He'd never be one of the biggest pricks on YouTube. Hi, Russ. But no, in all seriousness, hello, Russ. Yeah, I totally agree, Ben. I totally agree, as Rosie says. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know why I read it like she's a grizzled veteran in 1980s war flick. But yeah, I totally agree.
Dolph Lundgren in Red Scorpion.
No, it'd be like
Universal Soldier.
Ben, I totally agree.
Sergeant.
No, I said that with far too much emotion. What the fuck is a heel? Not the shoe.
It's empty.
Russ Morgan.
I agree too.
Russ, prove that you're the ultimate babyface and give an answer to Rosie's question. So you're still living that quiz. That fucking quiz was bullshit. You sounded like Val Kilmer last week. Well, you know what happened to him in the last 7 days.
Rest in peace, Val. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Great actor.
Great actor.
Was it? Yeah, but I hear he wasn't the most easiest person to work with and stuff. But no, great actor. Doc Holliday, great. So yeah, rest in peace to Val. And for all those who are wondering, Val Kilmer would have kicked Sam Greenwood's ass in a fight.
Oh my God, that's quite a claim. Do you think he could kick his ass in a fight right now?
Probably.
Well, the body's still warm.
Kilmer, man. Well, it's Val Kilmer, man. Come on.
He was Batman, to be fair.
Did you see him in Heat, man?
Yeah. The Island of Dr. Moreau. With Brando, I believe. Don't know what I say, believe. I know it's with Brando. We need to see Apocalypse Now 2, starring Rosie from Scotland, if she sounds like that. That doesn't say a lot. Dr. Cotton could kick Sam's ass just now.
Which part of Glasgow do you live in, Rose? This answer could differ whether she is the hardest person in the chat right now. Excluding Director John, of course.
And that depends on what sites John's looking at while he's also...
Is there a good part, John? I don't know if you've been to Glasgow, John. Speak of the devil.
Rosie lives in a good part. Hello, Sam Greenwood. How are you doing, sir? No, I'm genuinely... I said that like it's something that sinister had happened, but no, I'm just glad to see Sam Greenwood, our head moderator. Our head moderator.
Fucking times you call this moderator, and he's fucking... It's not good, man. It's not good.
I grew up in the West End, the posh part. I've lived in the East End for 20 years this year.
She's hard as fuck, Ben.
Rosie is just upset Norway has a better league than Scotland, and then Ross says, I wouldn't take on a Scottish bird.
It didn't take you long, did it, Sam?
So, I suppose a fairer question to ask is obviously... Twat in the black. Ben? Thomas
fucking
Bramall.
Sheffield United scum shit. Fucking wank. He was shit. He didn't give a foul, right, unless you touch someone in the back. But then he only gave a foul against Leeds for touching players in the back. That referee was shit, right? He was constantly man-marking. He was man-marking Willie Nonto. Did you not notice that every time we was in attack, the referee was in the number, right in the middle of the play.
Ben,
he fucked that game up for us the best he could without being obvious.
If you're watching on Sky, Ben, which I suspect you wasn't because of understandable reasons, Don Goodman, who was the colour commentator or the analyst, whatever you want to call it, said, basically pointed out, whenever there was a, let me get it more coherently. Our attacker, I can't remember which one now, at the end of my mind, it's escaped me, but let's just say for argument's sake, it was not no. He pushed their player. He basically nudged their player. I mean, in hindsight, it's definitely a foul from the perspective of what gets given as fouls. Don Goodman went, if that happened in the penalty box, if a defender had done that to Willie Nonto in the penalty box, would that have been a foul? Which it wouldn't have.
No. And then it happened at the other end. In the second half. He did the same thing to us, but he wasn't in the penalty box, but he didn't give a foul, and then they had a chance from it.
Ben, you slag.
Absolute joke, that referee, right? But
evening, Samuel. Sorry, Ben.
If you could be asked, right, watch that game back, right, and just watch every time we went forward. That referee's position was in the number 10, where our number 10 was, right in Nonto's way, right in the middle of all our players. But whenever they attacked, he was behind the play.
Exactly. Evening, Russ.
Prick.
How'd your dogging duties go this weekend? It's the Lord of Norway. No? Sam Greenwood. And that quiz on Thursday, Mr. Tom, was great. Yeah, it was alright. It was alright. I've had better quizzes. Hello, Catherine. How are you doing? Obviously from Mr. Hello. Arsenal podcast. And Sam Greenwood's greeting Catherine, as he should, as head moderator. And Yo Catherine and lack of action in B&Q, says Russ Morgan. And the question for Sam, what does a moderator actually do? BX, break it down. Everyone's saying, I mean, it's lots of people saying hello to each other, of course. I keep hearing complaints about the quiz, but I maintain it was a good level, and it's not my fault that Mr. Tom was the Balchinian in Men in Black 2. I'm very glad you mentioned that because, or you'll see at some point during the show. Hello, BX, and Sam's been greeted by Catherine. And John, I moderate. Hey, chaps. Hey, chaps. From Chris Nix.
I've got a feeling John doesn't think your job's a real job, Sam.
But, Ben,
just a title for the sake of having a title. After twatting black, is it wanker of the week? Or is it
certainly do that now, yeah.
Question. Is it mid-show question? I don't. Yeah. I
think we should do that after what I've impromptuly planned, which I mean it's totally massively planned, but still. Ben, it's a mid-show question of the week. Yeah.
Can I just apologise for this question before we move on? Because I was going to do child actors that could beat Sam Greenwood up in a fight, but I couldn't be asked after yesterday, so I do apologise.
We can do that next week.
We can do that next week. I promise. But you've got a shit question.
Yar! I didn't realise you could hear the audio during the jingle. Yeah, awesome.
So you got a shit question this week, and so I apologise for it.
Not looking forward to work tomorrow. Hope we get paid more than moderator. You definitely get paid more than moderator. Moderator gets lots more, John. You definitely should, John. Mid-show question of the week. Thank you, Sam. And I am well, Rosie. Still ill, but a lot better today. And Gary Coleman and Emmanuel Lewis for Sam the Slag. That is certainly a take. The mid-show question of the week is, which Swedish footballer once had a clause inserted into his Premier League contract that prohibited him from travelling into space?
That's quality. I like the addition there.
And Russ Morgan is absolutely happy. Jingle.
Play it again. Okay.
Russ Morgan, do you want to hear the jingle again? Correct. The answer is Claudia Winkleman. Sam Greenwood has said Stefan Schwartz. But
it's not this one.
But could it be Jeremy Beadle or Clive Hunt? Yeah, it's it's Stefan Schwartz, obviously. Stefan Schwartz.
There you go.
But there he is coming back down. Yep. Oh, so also Gloria Jestefan and Liz Dawson. But don't worry, Rosie. Something I've got a sneaking suspicion. I've got a sneaking suspicion you're going to get your fill of silly names. Fantastic. Thank you, Ben, for providing us with a...
You don't have to thank me for that.
Like appetizer.
That just took me like 10 seconds. I just sent it and then I sent the apology saying I just can't be asked.
I totally know that, Ben. Totally know that. I'm just being nice. Just being nice. Cause
I'm just being honest.
Motherfucker. Trevor from Brookside, of course. Pol Pot. I don't know why it made me laugh. Because Sam's alter ego, of course. Brolin, Pol Pot, yes please. But you get to hear it again, Ross. Bobby Davro, obviously known as Dennis Bergkamp, and that's an amazing fact about Stefan Schwartz. How would you even be in a situation where you might end up being going into space?
A question for the audience. Who's your favourite dictator? We know John's
well,
is
we
Donald
already know
Trump.
Russ's. Not Russ, Sam's. John, who's your favourite dictator?
It's Donald Trump.
Okay. Everyone's entitled to their own favourite dictator.
And here he comes.
And you say dictator because what?
No, I'm just playing. Because he promised everyone they wouldn't ever have to vote again.
Oh, please.
Sam Greener's favourite dictator.
You knew I was going to come on when you said that.
I do. Yeah. That's why I double said it.
Rosie's favourite dictator is Gillian McKeith.
Hey, Rosie, I'm going to send out the link to the show. You don't have to come on, but go in the private chat. I'm going to send you my email address. And because you still want that Rangers jersey. I know you do. I'll just send it to you.
Oh, bless. Is it the same size as mine, John?
In the chat, we've got Annie Herbert saying, "Hi, Paul Heyman." Or sorry, as written, exactly as written. Hi, Paul Hayham. But obviously, Rose, if you do click that, I'm definitely not going to put you in the stream. I'm not even saying that as sarcasm. Obviously, just get whatever John wants to supply or whatever. I like Pol Pot too. If you put Noodle after his name, it's funny, says Zadzi. In your mind, you're all doing it right now. You are all absolutely going, yeah, Pol Pot Noodle. Yeah. And Pol Pot Mass Murder and winning Britain's Got Talent. Fucking hell. Stalin's up there for me. And Pol Pot Noodles Khmer Rouge Limited Edition. I'm a bit surprised you've not ever actually gone for the one with the one that's racked up quite the score. But still, it must just be because you're all xenophobic against the Austrians, I suppose. But still, maybe. Anyway, so Ben,
I believe my pal Dolph.
I'd never be on about your power, Dolph. But
Dolph, not Adolf. Yeah. Just Dolph.
I believe it's Dolph. Time, Ben. Yeah. Oh, Dolph, of course. Your first name turns to him, of course. That's silly of me. It's time for Wanker of the Week.
I need to get my notes out.
I did debate putting the actual jingle on, but it doesn't feel right. But we've basically not gone for a Wanker of the Week this week because Ben made a very special request, which I absolutely do not agree with, but I'm going to give him the airtime still anyway, because why the fuck not? And obviously...
Tom, I don't agree with you. Don't worry, I'll own it.
It's Cunt of the
Year.
Cunt of the Year. Bum, bum, bum. Anyhow.
And this year's Cunt of the Year is... Are you ready, Tom?
Oh, right, that's for me to post it. Yeah, all right. Daniel Farke.
Daniel Farke is this year's Cunt of the Year. And I have 7 reasons. Tom, 7 reasons.
Sorry, how many?
7 reasons, Tom. 7, Tom. 7. Would you like to hear the 7 reasons, Tom?
Pivot. Sorry, wrong Friends reference. Yeah, I would love to hear the 7.
Right. Reason number 1. He's a fucking hypocrite. He uses excuses like Ramazani loses duels. That's why he's not playing football. Yet Brendan Aronson hasn't won a duel all season, and Joel Pirro is equally as shit. Reason number 2, he don't have a clue. He's got no tactical knowledge, no nous, don't know what to do when we're losing, don't know what subs to bring on, when to bring them on, just don't have a fucking clue. Number 3, he doesn't learn. Hence we're making exactly the same mistakes that we made last season. It's just a carbon copy. Number 4, he ruins players' careers. I'll give you 2 examples, Joffy and Charlie Creswell. There's 2 players that he's ruined. He doesn't use his squad. What we put there. He just thinks Leeds are made of money and just paying people just to sit on a bench for a year. And finally, reason number 6, he's actually getting paid for this. Why is he getting paid? I don't know, because he's fucking useless. And reason number 7, Tom, number 7, is he thinks Ilan Melia is the best goalkeeper in the league. And anyone who thinks that ain't worth his salt. So that's my rant on cunt of the fucking year.
So Daniel Fark, congratulations on winning Ben's cunt of the year. Bum, bum, bum. Anyway, that being said, so thank you for that, Ben. I agree with some of it, but still you're entitled to your opinion. And that all this being said, what I will say is basically I want to draw attention to this sort of comment. If your director John just wants another concubine, because he's already got millions, and Greenwood. Chairman Mao did his best. Mao, did he Mao? And
Chairman Mao, yes.
Mao, did he Mao? From I believe that Deer Hunter.
What was he chairman of?
Probably the WWF. Probably I don't know.
It sounds quite a lowly rank to say you're a dictator, doesn't it, chairman?
I've never thought of it like that, actually. Chris Nick says, I like the Austrian painter, which of course is Oskar Koczynska. Or Koczynska. I've given up trying to say it already. How many countries have elections during a war, John? During an ongoing war? Not many. Pol Pot reaches critical acclaim.
Well, let's not start this shit.
Christ, Jesus Christ, you lot. Fucking hell. Anyway, good evening, Scooby, in all seriousness.
Football show, people. I think. Is it a football show?
It was a football show.
This is a Leeds United show, right? And we've got like 3 Leeds fans tuning in.
What happens when Leeds United fucking shit the bed? I think Ben stole Bandi's notebook. John, means a lot, sir. Keep hold of it now. And why is Stephen Hendry a cunt? Somebody said that he wasn't mature enough in his duels. I'm generally unsure what that even means when translated to plain English. That's a fair question. Hey mate, you well?
The reason Stephen Hendry's a cunt, Rosie, is because he contributed into Jimmy White not winning a world title. And Jimmy White deserved the world title.
Right. I'll read this out, obviously. Sam wants to know, will he still be a cunt if Leeds get direct promotion? Well, to put it this way, before I ask Ben the question, I don't agree that he's cunt of the year. Flatly, I don't.
That's fine.
But at the same point, but at the same time, you do. So I'll put it up, and it can't sound to put up in all truth, but
it was a time filler.
Yeah,
look,
fair to say.
I don't want him. I don't want him next year. I've been saying it. I said it at the end of last season. I don't think he's got any credentials or any potential to do anything with us in the Premier League. I've seen it with Norwich City when he took them up. And people say, oh yeah, they didn't back him. But it's not that they didn't back him. They didn't trust him. He played the same football with Norwich City, high wing backs. Exactly the same football, and they got picked off every week. And he'll do the same with us. He doesn't learn. He's got no tactical knowledge other than to play the wing backs. He's not the man for me. So yeah, the answer to your question is, in my opinion, yeah, he'll still be cunt of the year even if he takes us up, because we should be up already.
How you doing, Jamie? How you doing? Welcome, etc. As everyone is saying to you, to be fair. Stephen Hendry is my sporting hero, him and Ali McQuest. Sam, not bad, Rosie. And welcome, Jamie, if you're a Leeds fan.
Footballer's not going to tell you he doesn't want to play it unless his leg's hanging off. Right? So, therefore, the person solely responsible for all of Melié's mistakes is the prick that picked him and the prick that kept picking him and kept picking him. He should never have played again after Sam Allardyce dropped him. They should have sold him that summer and we should have moved on. And we would be in the Premier League by now.
I did say the other day, I appreciate it wasn't on this show, but I believe I said it on Stoop. I'm of the belief that we bought in Caldalo under the assumption that Meslier was not going to be at the club. But then no one wanted him. There was no bids for him, to my understanding. And so we kept him. But I'm not throwing him under the bus. I just think that's very likely the reason why he's the goalkeeper. Because I think
my understanding of you brought in Caldaro because you're not expecting Meslier to be at the club. You're going to sell him, right? So therefore, you automatically have brought in Caldaro because you think he's a better option than Meslier. So why are you picking him ahead of Caldaro in the first place in game one? You can't tell me Caldaro has not done what he needs to do in training, right, to dislodge that position from him. That is solely on stubbornness. And don't give me that I don't roast players in public when he's roasted 4 other players.
I did also add in the fact of there tends not to be a market for goalkeepers that conceded 200 goals across like 3 seasons or whatever it is he ended up conceding while at Leeds in the Premier League, and which is why we never got rid of him.
Do you know when you hear things like Man United are linked with him as a backup to their backup? Let's say Man United bought him, right, as a backup to their backup, and it came to that game where they needed to play. You think they're putting him in goal? Really?
I'd be shocked if that actually occurred, but I think that's just clickbaity nonsense. Because if that was remotely the case, it would have been how much are you offering. And it's easy for me to say that now that he's not the starting goalkeeper. Because I've been defending him all year, but I'm defending him assuming he's going to be the starting goalkeeper. Because we know enough about the manager to know that he doesn't change things once he's decided. So there was no point, I felt personally, there was no point in me sitting here on a weekly basis going, get him out, because I know it's just going to be a waste of my own energy.
I just say what I see each week. And it happens to be the same thing.
This is actually quite likely, in the sense of...
even when we were top of the league, transfer you winning, I was still pulling him up. Yeah, I get that. How much would you pay for him right now? If you had to buy him, what would you pay? Yeah.
No. I think the better question is basically if Leeds United got the 5 million that we paid for him, I'd be thrilled.
Do you see us getting the 5 million that we paid for?
No, absolutely no chance. No one's going to pay us actual money for him. I think we're actually going to need to give another team money to take him.
I think he's here next season. I think he's here next season to see his contract out and he goes back to France on a free.
Yeah. The thing that will annoy me about this is he's the sort of goalkeeper where he's going to end up at a club where he's actually going to win something really significant. And basically, his best years will be spent anywhere but Leeds, essentially. And it's typical of the situation. And we just got all his fucking negatives.
Look, there's obviously a goalkeeper in there, right? But he has lost all sense of it at this football club. He can't even do the basics. He needs a change more than anyone because his head's fried at this club. This club's got in his head. The fans are in his head. The pressure's in his head. All of it. And look, I get it's a lot on a young lad's shoulders. And I'm not roasting him as a person. I'm just roasting him as what he does in the goal for Leeds United. And it's not good enough. And everybody, even a blind man and his dog can see it.
My thing with him is, I admire Daniel Fox sticking with him after the Sunderland mistake, because that shit happens to any goalkeeper. The one where I was actually furious, and I mean, obviously I was furious after the Sunderland game. Like, I'm not going to try and rewrite history. But the actual thing where I was like, how I expect him to be dropped after the whole mistake. But cut a long story short, I thought it was perfect opportunity with the cup game coming up, because then you play Caldalo in goal, and then you can do like a soft like relaunch of your starting goalkeeper, if you get what I mean. And it's very dignified. Everyone knows why the change has been made, but it's less overt. It's not as bad as it is now. Basically, you are the goalkeeper, and then you're not the goalkeeper for the next league game. Like it is when now it's really humiliating. But you had a great window to actually avoid that kind of shit, and potentially save the man's career, rightly or wrongly. Because how do you come back from this?
You can't. But to answer that below there to Chris, it's different. The difference with Leeds playing West Ham is Leeds didn't have a defence. The defence wasn't there in front of him. They were all chasing the ball back, so he had to be the sweeper. Whereas he's got a defence in front of him, so his positioning is not as exposed in this team.
Yes, because that Leeds defence, obviously, in the Premier League years, or the relegation season, you still had Liam Cooper, fair to say Luke Ayling was in there. They're not the paciest of defenders. And obviously,
not the fastest either, is he?
Yeah, and obviously Firpo in the Premier League was basically
Bambi on ice.
He wasn't at the peak of his powers, let's just say.
The only thing guaranteed was a yellow card.
Yeah. People that like making money in football's betting, just bet on him to get a yellow card in the game in the Premier League, and he will net you coin. I mean, eventually less and less coin, because the company sort of realised he is a walking danger in terms of football. But he has gone on to become like the greatest footballer ever. So
Ballon d'Or, future Ballon d'Or winner.
I can't believe that man played for our club, which he did. I love Shooting Stars, Scooby. Bob Mortimer is very good. I think Bob Mortimer was actually, I'm not going to finish that because it's a spoiler TV show we was watching. But
what was your favourite Rafinha moment?
It might be a very low key one. I know people would. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. No, I know people are expecting me to sit here and go, "Oh, the goal against Brentford, like which safety and all that." But him sending Gary Cahill into retirement is actually the peak moment. Because he basically, when he spins over the ball and basically leaves Gary Cahill stewing in his own juices, it was just like, yeah.
Just grabbed him and just pulled him.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was beautiful to watch that. Beautiful. There's not enough of that in football anymore, is there?
Really not. El crusty fuck. What's it? Yeah. How very dare you? We'd ever see. I was actually hard him when he was in the Premier League because I knew there was a player in there. It became harder and harder to defend because there's only so much you could say when basically you're sitting there and you're losing games because he was out of position and shit like that. Because he's played in a Barcelona team where he's basically up the end of the pitch. Sorry, Ben?
It became sort of a joke, didn't it, with Firpo, like a sarcastic thing, but the love was always real.
Yeah. How can you not love a man with that moustache? It takes a certain type of guy to put off a moustache, and he's done it. I knew Jamie was a man of sense. Jamie, you've mentioned Firpo.
A lot of moustaches make you look like a paedophile. On
anyone else, your PC would immediately be checked if you went into PC World.
You'd
go on the watch list.
Do you know who's got the most pedo tash on YouTube? Have you seen the? Is it the second tier? the lad called Justin Peach. That's a paedophile tash, man. The kid's only about 25 or so, but it's wrong. It's wrong, that moustache. Have you ever seen 32 on YouTube?
I don't believe I have.
It's called 32 with a TH, THOUGHTY2. He does like history stuff. He's quite a good thing, but he's got a proper paedophile tash as well. He'd get arrested if he was outside of school, that sort of thing.
Jamie says, I'd like to know Tom's backstory, him being Southern supporting Leeds United. Please.
Same reason everybody hates Leeds United.
Yep. Good. They've finished the fault. You're correct, but still.
Yeah, it's quite interesting though, isn't it? I know inevitably that is the answer, but it wasn't the straightforward answer for you, was it?
My dad was a
the easiest option for you
holder.
would have been West Ham.
Yeah. My dad was a season ticket holder from, I don't know the exact year, but let's just say mid-1960s, or not mid, in the 1960s, it would have been Leeds were a second division club when he got into Leeds. And it was partly because his brother also got into Leeds. Because there was a footballer for Leeds, I don't know the name, so I'm not going to pretentious about him, but he kind of just liked this footballer that happened to play for Leeds United. And I have no idea how that would even occur in 1962 or whatever year it had been. But then they basically started following Leeds. Ultimately, it was an excuse for them to go out on the piss on Saturday. Ultimately, because it was a 4-hour train journey from London to Leeds and back. So basically they'd start getting drunk at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And they'd still be getting drunk at like 10 o'clock at night.
Original service crew then, yeah?
Yeah, very much service crew type thing. And obviously that sort of then translated down to, basically, when I started liking football, I noticed it existed. I was like, okay, so I've enjoyed the 1994 World Cup. This is the bridge version of it. I've enjoyed the 94 World Cup. I actually want to see this football more often. Because,
if people don't know, Tom was poorly as a young 10-year-old boy, and he had to spend the summer indoors, and he came across football in the form of the 1994 World Cup in the US of A.
It's accurate, yeah. That's exactly what happened. I had diarrhea on one particular day, which fell on the quarter-final match between Bulgaria and, I believe it was Germany. Were they West Germany at the time?
No, there was still Germany. West Germany was 1990 on it, and then it expanded from there.
Yeah. So, obviously, I was watching that, and at the time, I was about 10, I'd have been about 9 years old, and they'd been teaching us about World War II. So, I instinctively had been educated at school, basically, that Germany are fucking evil, and they're the fucking worst. And apologise if you are German, if anyone there is German, but I was brought up basically by the school education system that Germans are the fucking worst.
I'll tell you a little story. Remind me when you're finished.
And cut a long story short, everyone, do apologise, but basically I watched that game and it was so enthralling because the main thing I knew about football was that Germany are quite a power nation in football. That was the only thing I really knew. And Bulgaria were being talked about. Bulgaria were being talked on TV as if like it was a literal David versus Goliath type clash. And I was basically 9 years old, so immediately all the cards sort of lined up into basically this is gonna be really cool if Bulgaria win it. But I don't know why, other than the fact that because Germans are wrong-uns. Historically. And obviously Bulgaria won, and I basically shit myself during it, obviously, because I had diarrhea. Actually, that's not accurate, but still. I mean, it was like 31 years ago. I can't remember if I shit myself, but I remember having diarrhea, so I probably did. I've talked about this way too much, obviously, but still. And that kind of... Then it became like, oh shit, who do I follow in football? So I sort of... I don't want to say like I had a... Basically, I had a year of basically like enjoying football, but not really getting into it, if you get what I mean. Like, I very loosely like kind of thought, oh, well, let's just sort of follow along with the local team, which was obviously West Ham United. But I didn't. It, you know when it doesn't feel right, and you're like,
yeah.
My brother just went West Ham, and that it was done. Like he's West Ham since, but that's mainly because he's a prick and didn't want to toe the family line basically.
I went to Anfield and Scum before I went to Ellen Road, and it didn't feel right. Just exactly as you say, it didn't feel right.
And obviously, then I basically like sort of then went right. Let's go in all in on Leeds kind of thing. And yeah, that was basically it. Helped that Tony Yeboah was as Anthony Herbert, to be fair to him, did mention. Tony Yeboah made it very easy to like sort of, you know, like he was like my first footballing hero, let's just say, other than Romario, but still.
Mine was Batty. I loved Batty. I got to see my first season was '89 when we came up and we won the Division 2, and then my third season we were obviously champions. But just to fast forward a year into 1995, and just to instill the hatred that you instilled at school of Germany, we had a school football tour in Germany, and I would have been 15, and we went to what's called a Hallenbad, which is an outdoor swimming pool, and they had a big water slide. It was massive. So to instill the hate of Germany, there was 10 of us, young English lads, going down the water slide, all of us singing 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup England. So yeah, there's just a thing back then. Germany were the enemy, and so were Argentina.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's not often I get to tell that. I suppose I've probably never actually told that on this show. Because I think it was more of a stoop thing where we were talking about me having the shits watching '94 World Cup.
Yeah.
Mark
Can I just get excused well. Just to go grab a drink for 2 minutes?
No problem. Do you want me to start up the question of the week or tell lie?
Yeah, get on.
We'll go through the upcoming matches.
Right, I'll let you do that. Yeah.
No problem.
I'll just put my thing on.
And for Rosie who wondered basically who Middlesbrough are playing next, and can they maintain their inconsistent form, they're playing Leeds United. And Russ nice to meet you, Jamie. And Jamie's like, hello, Russ. He typed Russ, but I'm inventing conversations, I suppose. But it's a double game week, of course. So then Leeds are at home to Preston at 12:30 on a Saturday, because of course we are. Why wouldn't we be? That's very weird, Rosie. I don't know why you would be expected to know that. Even though we totally did it massively. What's the correct word? Hint it. It was almost like we had a willy with Middlesbrough and then slapped it over our faces. But you know that's not PG. But still. Hello, Miss Melina. How are you doing? Good to see you. And Miss Melina's typing Rosie's name. That is her name. Anyhow, so as part of the show, we'd usually go, these are Leeds United's remaining games. Obviously, starting out with, we only have 4 left this time next week. I don't know why Google hasn't changed it, that Bristol City game is, because it's literally on Leeds' website that the game has changed to the 30th. Miss Evening Mel and Sir Tom, knowing your love for Derby, are you going to be supporting them against Burnley? It's interesting you say that because Derby County's next game is against Burnley, which kind of tied into the fact that they are playing them. Obviously, the key game is obviously on April 21st with Burnley versus Sheffield, which is literally the only reason why Leeds can still win every game and definitely get promoted, because one of them has to drop points. Obviously, I know you all know how maths works. I'm not going to teach people how to suck eggs or whatever, but still. And just for the sheer sake of it, because Director John was kind enough to actually make the thing. This is Sheffield United's remaining schedule as well. And I don't know if you've noticed that on the same date of April 21st, Sheffield United are playing Burnley, funny enough. It's funny how that works out. Just pure shocking, pure shocking. I've always liked Millwall. I've always liked Cardiff. And I can't begin to tell you how much I respect Derby County. And is it because of the specific fixtures that are on these lists? Yes. Yes. We have West Brom. Will be a hard game. They're playing well, but we can win and stay in the playoffs. Oh, that's right. You support Bristol City, don't you, when it suits you? Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. I do wish your team luck, obviously. Not in the playoffs, because it's like we might actually end up in there. But still, obviously, that's dependent on our Leeds fortunes and all that. But no, seriously. Awesome here, Anthony. Yeah, mate, I've been mega busy.
You should have said you don't wish them luck when they play us as well. And did I just hear you say that you love Cardiff and Millwall?
I wonder how brown he is.
Because they're playing them. They're all the names on the list of the remaining fixtures.
I know. I'm just joking.
And
need to get this
Gary's here. Gary.
Hey, Gary.
How you doing, Gary?
I'm putting my
happy birthday for tomorrow, sir. Gary's birthday.
Happy birthday, Gary.
And say hello to Gary.
21st.
Of course it's going to be his 21st, because he's clearly a man. That's clearly 20 years old, obviously. So,
I don't know how to put my glasses. Don't matter.
Okay, so let's get back on with the show. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do question of the week. We'll do dipshits. Then we'll do memes. Got a fucking lot of memes. Sorry, Ryan. Got a lot of memes. Anyway, I don't mean a lot of memes like then there's 10 memes. It's a lot of memes. So, it's time for the question of the week. Have a good night, Jamie. And jingle time. Question of the week. Are you all ready for the question of the week? Happy birthday for tomorrow, Tom. Told me your fifth. Sorry. Not my birthday. It's happy birthday for tomorrow, Tom. Told me you're 59. I don't believe him, of course. And hello, Andy Rowe. Have you been given your invite for the Blackburn? I believe Scooby sent me something about it, but I mean, I'm in London, so no disrespect, obviously, to Joe Blackburn's Creators Cup, but almost certainly not going to be able to make it. Miss Melina, what are you shooting? Oh my God, she's ready to track something. I always want to say hello to Gary, because Gary's the king. No, he is. He's birthday king. They want to go eat out at the Cheesecake Factory. I'm tired as hell. Sorry, BX. It's question of the week. Sorry, how you doing, in all seriousness?
What is the question, Tom? What is the question?
I actually pressed the wrong one. Do excuse me. I've got it here. Got it here. My fault. Off the Deep End edition. My apologies, because of course I screwed that up. Who are these initials that need to go fuck themselves? Have at it.
West Ham.
Correct. Correct. Andy Herbert is actually correct. Not even jokingly correct.
Daniel.
It's actually correct because Andy Herbert needs to go fuck himself.
Daniel Farke.
Millwall. Correct. Needs to go fuck himself. Daniel Farke needs to go fuck himself. Tony Warner. Probably true based off Leeds versus Wolves in 2006. But still. Asshole. That's actually not correct, unfortunately. Man United, correct. Timberland, obviously correct. Dead Flanders, correct. Don't think... Hitch a lift off of James Tooney's London-based Leeds contact creator. Tony Blackburn. Not correct, though. Sam? Deep down, you know what the answer is, Sam. Deep down, you know what the answer is. Sorry, Ben?
I met Tony Blackburn.
I've heard he's a really nice man.
He was all right, yeah.
Mushy Wimp Snake. Correct. William Hitler. Definitely correct. Man United is actually correct. I took a small nap, Pepsi Lips. Thank you very much, Lawrence. But your team is actually one of the answers to the question because they need to go fuck themselves.
I love this show.
Come on, people. What are the
Fucking
answers?
Leeds. Fucking Leeds.
Langela Lipon. Correct. Man United is actually a correct answer. Toby Bunkhouse.
Bob's brother.
It's a real quiz. It's a real quiz, and with legitimate answers. My Uranus.
Titwank in goal.
Correct.
So we've got West Ham. Is it Millwall then, yeah?
Yeah, that is actually correct. It's actually the
Man United,
abbreviation
yeah.
Florida.
So
Man United's actually correct. Millwall is actually correct. So is West Ham. So is Anthony Herbert.
Brendan Aronson.
Correct. Actually correct. Not in the way when Rosie says something and then I'll go, yeah, correct, to go along with the joke. But Russ Morgan. Derby County. Go fuck themselves. Yes, Retention County. Says Sam Greenwood. I'll give you all an extra minute, and then I'll move on from this with the correct answers.
Is that a typo? Should that be Arsenal fan circle?
It's not. I'm sure they're nice lads. They're nice lads. I'll never do that to them.
I'll play.
No, of course. And it's the answer Midge. Whoa. Fucking hell. Theodore Roosevelt. Fucking hell. I don't know why it got me. Oh, here's a good answer. Sorry, that's Hey Russ, or are Rangers crap? Correct. Yes. Alright, so I'll give you an extra 32 seconds and then I'll put up the answers. Sam, you're going to kick yourself for not getting TB. Frank Lampsoft. Kind of correct. Alan Hansen. Two of the closest. Fucking hell. Hey, whoa, Gary. Tom Balchinian. Woo. You're so close. You're so close.
The Balchinian.
Correct. So the actual correct answers of the quiz of the week is as follows. Titwank in goal, like it will always be. West Ham, Millwall, Derby County, Manchester United, Brendan Aronson, Frank Lampard, Arsenal referee conspiracy. Cat can go fuck itself. Daniel Farke, Anthony Herbert, and the Balchinian from Men in Black 2. It's a man with balls on his chin. In case anyone didn't know what the Balchinian was. It's a fine actor. It's a fine actor. And Sam Green was right. Titwank is a solid goalkeeper, to be fair. Which it is. Lawrence is still awake. So, there you go. Saying low to Anthony. Half a point for Frank. Yes, you can totally have. I call bullshit on the Arsenal conspiracy.
You can have 2/3 of a point because you got the Frank Lamp bit right. So it was just the hard.
Have 1 million points.
So I'm going to give you 2/3 of a point, Rosie.
Zantis says, not conspiracy. Everton player falls over in the box. Everton get a penalty. I love listening to the Junior League.
Did you see that embarrassment? What did you see that embarrassment yesterday? Manchester United under 18s 13, United under 18s 1. They scored every 5 minutes or something stupid.
Yeah, I totally don't have a meme for that at all. I totally, I may have heard about it. But yeah, it's a.
What was they playing? The under 8s?
Was Melier in goal?
That's what I texted my dad when he told me Scorsese was in goal. Melier.
VVD smacks the player in the face today and nothing happens. Well done, Liverpool. Lawrence asks, Lawrence is asking for the crow of disappointment. He's actually going to get the crow of judgment.
I think it's the Supreme he should be getting. The Supreme.
I see no reason why he shouldn't get the Supreme Crow judgment. You know, just excuse me.
That's how Tom came on tonight with me because we were backstage. Ha 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 ha! Fucking crow noises.
I totally make crow. I no longer have the Supreme Crow judgment for some reason. Can't explain it. But I do have the. I was gonna say I have the bling version that Rosie made, but that's nowhere near enough to actually convey what a shit cunt Lawrence Watkins can be. I said what I said. Ben?
Yes.
It may be the time of the week where we basically look at our predictions for Leeds United. I'm stoned and well now. Thank you everyone for your participation. Pepsi, easy. Easy. Ultra judgment.
Ultra, yes. Just minus the eyebrow.
Oh, it's feel the ultra. Caca. I do like
crow of sadness. The crow of sadness.
Thank you, Director John. That being said, though, I did kind of get the result right. Not the exact result, you know, the
Score. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, you got the draw.
got the
Twat.
draw. Yeah. I'm going for another one in a 7-7 epic on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday or Tuesday?
How many?
Excuse me.
How many, Tom?
7-7. Yeah. I'm convinced there will be a 7-7 draw in football, and it will be great. It will be I remember there was a time when there was a 7-5, but anyway.
Could you live through a 7-7 Leeds game?
Oh no, it would kill me. I would actually probably get a heart attack during the contest, but still, Andy Herbert says 4-1 Middlesbrough.
Do you know that's not beyond possibility at the minute? I hope you're wrong, but what will be will be.
I think he's just a bit salty that I told him to go fuck himself via quiz. Because he would never do something like that to me. I'm going to turn on my phone and it's going to say I've received a message from Andy Herbert, and it's probably like Pedro Pascal tossing himself off or something. No, there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, probably what it's going to be. Like a signed photo of Pedro Pascal or something. Oh, would you look at that? No, it's not actually. But I think we should head over to the memes. Actually, that's a lie. Let's not head over to the memes because it's time for the dipshits. The dipshits. What have I got on store for you all this week in the dipshits? Well, I look at what people are saying about the commentators of football. And why are they the dipshits, Ben?
Because fucking dipshits. They chat shit.
Awesome.
Everybody in football thinks it. As you're about to find out.
If I hadn't seen Andy Hinchcliffe play football, I would swear on my life that the prick had never seen a football match in his life. He's more clueless than Alicia Silverstone and any championship referee that has ever lived combined. I think that's far too clever for a football fan on Twitter. Because obviously,
especially one that's named after a controversial food show critic. Yeah.
He's going to be the new host of MasterChef, and it'll be very convenient for them because they wouldn't have to change any of the font.
They'd have to change the credits, yeah.
Yeah, it's just already there. But yeah, seriously, it's like, I get this because Alicia Silverstone was in Clueless. Not in much else apart from Batman and Robin, someone furiously typing right now. But still, anyway, Andy Hinchcliffe is a massive wanker going on like he's some top player, says Leo Stout. The icing on the cake of the shit show is that Rovers at the minute is listening to Andy Hinchcliffe narrate it. Absolute buffoon. Thomas Elson, 90, says, Big Dunk can fuck off and all. Fucking turncoat, sitting on the fence of Sky invited back. Andy Hinchcliffe 2.0 him, prick. What the fuck? What did Big Dunk? I never saw it, so actually to even remotely know if this is true, but
Fucking turncoat, I love it.
Fucking turncoat. Anyway,
it sounds like a Cockney Everton fan, that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is Andy Hinchcliffe sniffing glue? He's just gone in waist high, studs showing, missed the ball and took JRC's shin. For context, JRC is Joe Rankin Costello. I looked this up. I tried to work out what player they were talking about. But JRC should have got straight back up and chased after it. Yeah, right.
Hashtag melt.
What else we got? Make sure you are smashing like button, subbing Tom's channel. He's wrestling show too. I appreciate that, Rosie. Thank you very much. And on to Don Goodman. We don't get much for Don, but I managed to find a few. It's more than we'd have taken. It's a point more than we'd have taken a month ago, but I'm not sure it helps either team enough. Although from listening to Don Goodman, you'd have thought we'd have taken a point off of a team 4 leagues above us. Even Luton fans don't like him. Incredibly soft free kick. Don Goodman is full of shit. Meslier would never have caught that ball. At Square Ball, I'd like to nominate Don Goodman for Villain of the Week. Game hasn't even kicked off and I'm already sick of him. Oh, Ace. Don fucking Goodman from Berardi Breezer. Ken Bates, PA. Anyway, and the last one. This is basically the first guy that, what's his name? Daniel Chapman, who was saying something about the game. But he also asked who was on commentary, to which he got the response, Don Goodman, awful co-commentator, should have been binned years ago, from Kev Lennon. And there it is, the
Correct.
dipshits for the week. The dipshits. Let's move over on to We All Love Leeds 2, over on StreamYard. Where, cut a long story short, everyone, it's time for memes.
Sunday roast.
We go with the Sunday roast, the Daniel Fark edition, and this meme was submitted by Russ Morgan with a message, with a word after it. What word was with the message? I'm sorry. And I'm like, in my mind, I was like, that's all right, Russ. That's absolutely fine, because I'm gonna have some Arsenal ones as well that I know you're not gonna like, but still, fair is fair. I have to run, all seriousness. Ben, Pepsi Lips and Ben are solid. I can't believe he's going to go with that unfunny joke forever. Solid respect. I can't lie anymore, they suck.
It's kind of got a ring to it.
The worst part is when Director John actually put a thing on there that actually had Pepsi went around my mouth. I mean, it was really good, but at the same point, of course, I'm going to be really salty about it. But still.
Well,
Tarak with just a flying visit, but wanted to say hi. Hope you're both well. Hello, Tarak. How you doing, sir?
Good night, anyway, Lawrence. Sorry, I forgot. Take it easy.
Have a good
See you
night,
next
Lawrence.
week.
Of course. Have a good night. Have a good night, Lawrence. And take care, Lawrence. See you soon. Oh, the meme that Russ sent was obviously, say the line, Leeds will go up as champions. Yay! Speaking of that line, and I know you're going to have feelings on this, Daniel Fark making a phone call going, I'd like to cancel that bus I ordered in February.
Cock.
Poor predict... Fucking hell. Damn it,
You've got to
Director John.
love him, haven't you? You've got to love him.
I don't know why I didn't expect it. But maybe I did expect it. No, I totally didn't expect it. Awesome. Did you look on John's face? He just sits there like, man, I'm gonna catch Tom off guard one of these days. Like, we fucking did, sir. You fucking did. Now, congratulations. Now, take your pay slip for fucking 0 pence and fuck off. No, I'm joking. John's laughing. John's laughing at my saltiness. Hello, Superman fan with Darlow better than me. He didn't make one mistake yesterday. Lots of pressure on him for the last game. Rothwell will be a big miss. That's true, it will. And bye, Lawrence. Bye, Lawrence. Always a pleasure, sir, says Russ Morgan. Oh. Poor predictable Leeds. They'll probably fall apart again. Good old falling apart again. Nothing beats that. And here come the Red Bulls. Uh-oh, and a barrage of cans have now knocked Patrick Bamford unconscious. Probably. And basically, the biggest sort of meme I saw yesterday revolving around the contest in the Simpsons group that I'm in was basically, DJ, play Joy Division. Really popular, this one. To which I was like, why do you all hate Leeds so much? You ain't even old enough to hate us. But, is what it is. Is what it is. Okay. Maybe that was Daniel Fark cancelling the open top bus trip around Leeds in May. Almost certainly. Almost certainly. Me trying to enjoy my life. Leeds United. Which is actually, basically, also goes hand in hand with the other one of Leeds Automatic Promotion Hopes, Luton Town.
I should
Leeds
say
United
Leeds
yesterday.
again.
Yeah, he really should. Leeds United at 2:30 p.m. yesterday. Don't cry for me, I'm already dead. He's gaining on us. I'm scared. The playoffs. Now we're going to get, in honour of Director John, we're going to get a bit mafia-y here. With, you see, the Leeds fan base, they've been the most vocal on the subject of the Sheffield United vs Burnley fixture. When do they play each other? When do they play each other? Why aren't they playing each other right now? And so on. So please, the Sheffield United vs Burnley fixture. Better make that fixture happen for Fat Tony and Director John. Because Director
Have
John
you got a
can be
feeling
killed.
that fixture will be too late for us?
Yes, that has occurred across my mind. And based on a photo that Sam Greenwood sent to me yesterday, this was the half-time score of Manchester United versus Leeds United under 18s.
We scored. We did score. But we conceded another 4 after that.
We did. Hence why I did title the actual photo Leeds United under 18s, room for improvement. We look like a team.
How do you let someone get a double hat-trick in the first half?
It's not bad. We look like a team that wants to stay in the Championship instead of Prem. If we don't go up, Fox should go and bring in the manager who wants to go up. Solomon should be permanently. Based on what, Mr. Superman fan?
Not on his last 6 games. He's he should be dropped.
I'm annoyed that him and David...
He was at fault for the goal. It was him who weren't marking the mountain, and then bang. Third post caught in no man's land with 2 players to mark. Goal. Where's Solomon? Sat on halfway line on beach. He gets to go back
James
to
and Solomon, whatever. They've both dropped off at the same time, which does us no good.
So the thing about loan players, did they switch off at the end of the season, man?
I think it is safe to say Leeds United under 18s need some improvement. What would tell you that?
I think what you'll find, Sam, is that a lot of the under 18s have overachieved and are now in our under 21s. So the under 18s is filled with 16-year-olds.
And also,
our
Man United's
our under 21s have just beat. Was it Altrincham they beat? They just got to the final of the non-league cup or whatever it is. So that's where all our under 18s are in the under 21s.
Yeah. So basically, they're literally playing.
If our under 18s would have actually played them yesterday, I think they played them not a few weeks back. It was 1-1 or 2-2. So yeah.
But the internet will be the internet, and that 13-1 is going to go around, and you'll find out about it quick.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. So especially to that team, because they even made the list of teams that need to go fuck themselves.
But you watch them under 18s and under 21s, and then Leeds will be playing Accrington under 21s, and they're just as good. Do you know, the levels aren't the same as the team, like Man United aren't as big a draw at that level as they are in the men's league. Do you know, pretty even field. Other than Man City win everything every year.
Rodon's lost his form when Melier was in goal. Schmidt needs games instead of being bench warmer. Amazon even may as well. Well, we buy these players and don't get used.
Well,
got this.
If we don't go up, you'll see a lot more of him next season.
Yeah, for sure. The Sunday roast memes, the more generalised section of this, I suppose, which isn't just digging out Leeds, I suppose. Try and put some food up. How much do you think this cost in the Emirates? It's a pizza. I believe it's a margarita pizza. No, it's a margarita pizza.
That's a beer, isn't it? I'm going to go 40 quid. That pie's well overdone.
I'm the quiz champion. Yes, you're the quiz champion based on jokes that you made up.
That's
15,
half a
25,
pizza, isn't it?
50. I do believe it's actually the yeah, it's a slice of it, isn't it? It was actually fairly close, to be fair, Ben. It was 34 quid.
I just wouldn't be fucking spending 34 quid on that.
I believe it was a meat and cheese pie. I could be wrong, but yeah, still, I'd feel dirty paying that in the Emirates. Also, don't know if you was aware of this weekend. PSG won the won Liga 1 in France, and who knew what you can achieve by being the third richest club in the world and a little bit of hard work. Tastes like cardboard, even the beer. Fucking hell, could get a weekly shot for that. There you go. But it was a Farmers League. Yeah, and PSG beat their brains out. You know, beat who's in front of you. In other news, Jose Mourinho's handed a 3-match ban for a nose pinch.
I saw that. It's pathetic.
He literally dived.
Only in football. Only in football. Yeah, I saw it. It was pathetic. It's what is it?
I can't believe
football?
he got a 3-game ban for it.
Grown men acting like that. It's pathetic.
Who's watching that and then thinking, like, I hope Jose Mourinho's not in the dugout for the next game after that? Ridiculous. But I do have some exclusive footage of him doing what got him the ban. Got your nose. I got it from another angle. Got your nose. Anyway. In the League 1 results, as we were discussing it earlier, Wrexham did actually get a 3-0 win, and Wickham dropped points to, I believe it's a 6-point gap between them now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could be wrong.
But... a mess out there.
Oh, Hollywood will be dancing for hours with these results. Emirates is too dear. Been there once on tour around the stadium. Stadium was nice, but that was enough. I preferred Highbury myself. I personally think, and I'm no expert in this, but I do believe that Arsenal built the stadium at literally the worst possible time, because every stadium that's been built since is so advanced in technology, it still feels like their stadium's outdated and it's like 20 years old. I have no idea if what I've said makes sense or whatever, but still. I've got live footage of Villa playing Nottingham Forest. Speaking of Nottingham Forest goalkeeper is now tied for the most clean sheets in a season in their history, tied with Mark Crossley from 1994, Mark Crossley from 1992, and Mark Crossley from 1995. If I could put this statistic in a Simpsons photograph, this is definitely the one I would have picked. Just in case Ben doesn't totally see. Obviously, Mark Crossley was their goalkeeper when they were in the Premier League before. And you know, there you go. Loads of people, Homer Simpson. Anyway, speaking of pricks, Micah Richards says at 17 years old, I earned £5 a week. Manchester City offered me £100 a week for 5 years. I said no because I was number 2 to Zabaleta. It was the worst decision I ever made. Why do you think I work for every fucking broadcaster? I went to Aston Villa, that was even less money. That was less money. Then we got relegated in the first season, so my wages halved. So I went from $100,000 a week offer to like 25 in the Championship. I mean, still alright, isn't it? I mean, but, you know, at least he can admit it was a poor decision. And it's why you see him on every fucking TV channel, football-wise, I suppose. But hopefully Sam Greenwood's around, so he'll appreciate this, because obviously he has the movie channel, where we discuss films and stuff. So, I don't know if Sam's ever heard of this new movie. Only 25 grand, my heart weeps for of course, Sam. But have you ever seen the new movie coming out called Stuart Little? It's good work if you can get it. It's good. It's good. That's good carbonated beverage. Obviously, we need to pay tribute to some degree to a great footballer, Kevin De Bruyne. But his wife would always say, sometimes at the dinner table, I'm about to say, honey, can you pass the salad? And before I even open my mouth to say it, the salad is on my plate. He just sees things that other husbands can't. Another one that Russ Morgan sent me. Imagine these two sharing a pitch in their prime. Obviously, Steven Gerrard and Mo Salah. And apparently it turns out they did share a pitch in their prime. He played for the Chelsea team, where Stevie G fell over to lose the title. People forget that. Well spotted, Russ. It looks like the new Stratham movie. He looks like he's a Leeds fan, that Stewart. He's a working man. Hey, at least he's working, Andy. At least he's working. We let a Feyenoord manager win the Premier League in his first try, says United Trey. But, conversely, Liverpool have won 2 league titles in 35 years. One was the Corona Trophy and the other is the PGMOL Trophy. Salty much, Mo? He's a working beekeeper. Slow down, Liverpool. You've not won the title yet. This is another one from the Russ Morgan stable of memes. When it's April 2nd, your team is still a joke. And this is their fan realising the joke is true. Garnacho is still only 20 years old. He's still young. He can still go back to uni and try to get a degree, make something of his life. Do you know Omar Mamouche joined in January and already has more Premier League goals than Hoyland and Zirkzee combined? But a momentous thing happened today in the Premier League, Ben. I'm unsure if you're aware. I used to be a well-run club on the South Coast. And then they changed what a well-run club was. And now a well-run club seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you. No way, man. We're going to keep doing well forever. 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 Then they'll look like Homer Simpson. Because the bottom's going to fall out of that club at some point. It just is. Oh, by the way, Southampton got relegated today. And the fastest time it ever took a club to get relegated from the Premier League. That was your prize for beating Leeds at Wembley. Go fuck yourself, Southampton. Hi, Championship. I'm back. What? Already? Yes. That's the joke.
Simple ones are the best.
And take that, you lousy division. Oh, God. Crap. Southampton go up. Southampton go down. Southampton go up. Let's go down. I love doing this. Anyway, I'll stop. I'll stop. We're promoted to the best. We're promoted to the Premier League, the best league in the. Oh well, we're relegated. Oh well, easy come, easy go. But there's a very special, important question that came of this. It's from former Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale. Will I ever see you again, Premier League? Sure, baby. Next team that needs to be relegated. I believe he's been relegated 4 times now. Southampton, worst Premier League team ever. And that's it for Southampton, I promise. But they did play against a team today. And someone made a complaint about Spurs on their Instagram account. Who is this account pretending to be? Someone wrote a football club. Southampton have 7 games to get 2 points to beat Derby's record. Are they going to get them though, Sam? Obviously, I'm really petty, so I hope they don't. It's one of these things of they're either going to become the worst team or they don't, and Derby stay the worst team. So either way, I'm going to be through. Because I'm really petty in football. Simply because if I can't be happy, no one can be happy in football.
Exactly.
I don't think they'll get 2 points, maybe 1. But then, will they then start going to the goal difference of like who are actually worse and things like that?
Probably.
I hope so. I hope so. Because that's a conversation that I 100% want to witness. Zanzi says all 3 of those teams in relegation zone need another 19 points to beat the worst 3 teams ever combined. Is that right, Rosie? Not Rosie, Zanzi. Sorry, combined. Oh, and speaking of Spurs, this is what being Spurs manager does to a man. He wins trophies in his second season. That's what he does. That's the face of a man. Definitely going to win the Europa League.
Did he win manager of a month in August?
Almost certainly. Almost certainly. Because that's what he does. He wins in the second season, you see. Oh, and now we're on to Arsenal. Saka was injured for 3 months and still scored a Premier League goal before Cole Palmer. Russ Morgan with Tom. Just sent you a meme. Is it a meme telling me to go fuck myself? I won't send it to myself to put it on here, so I'll just hold it up to the camera. But Duncan Alexander, obviously, works for Opta, I believe. Southampton now have as many Premier League points this season as the City has Tesco's. That's quite a statistic, Mr. Morgan. Thank you for letting us know that. But I've got another statistic. Let's look at basically Arsene Wenger at Old Trafford, Simpson-fied. This is because I kicked you, isn't it? Won the league in his first season at Barcelona. Won the league in his first season at Bayer Leverkusen. Won the league in his first season at Liverpool. Trust the process. Yes, this is because you sent me that meme about Leeds, Mr. Morgan. The water bottle.
I think he's
won
got
the
to
narrowly. Sorry, sir?
How long do you give someone?
I think personally, and we've established that I'm a very soft chairman in this situation, so I'm very reluctant to sack people. But at the same time, I think let him get to the 10th year so you can give him his little bonus or whatever.
Testimonial.
Yeah. Let him get to his 10th year and then go, okay, this hasn't worked or whatever you want to say. But United trades back with title races involving Arsenal was so boring, man. You just know the other team is winning the trophy. It's fucking savage. But Arteta has won a treble. I don't know if you know this. Arteta's almost certainly going to win the treble this season. The treble of finishing second 3 years in a row. Historic. Fucking historic. No one would have done a better job with our injuries this season.
Massive drop off from last season.
Arsene Wenger won the Premier League title in his first full season at Arsenal. 97-98 season. That is true. I lived it. Leeds United were quite good that year, to be fair. Am I right in thinking we finished UEFA Cup places in 98? And the final meme, because people go, why aren't you doing a meme about the Manchester Derby? Why aren't you talking about the Manchester Derby? Why you got nothing for the Manchester Derby? What a crappy derby, and it ruined our Sundays. It was shocking. And everyone involved in it should be ashamed with themselves. But they'll still take their paycheck.
Yep. So they're not really bothered.
Useless second in the league and Champions League quarterfinal with loads of injuries and no striker, real crusty scrap on the scruppy. I mean, I'm just putting the memes out there. But still, I don't think he's failing personally. But you got to keep in mind from the context of if we had a manager that was finishing second year after year, he'd still be our manager, Ben, in the Premier League. He just would be, and we wouldn't even really sit and question it. We'd just be.
I just feel when you're finishing second, you're second, and you're spending money like what they spend, then the ultimate goal's not second, is it?
My thing with it, where I do think Arsenal,
I don't care how shit you are, you should be aiming to win the league.
Where I think valid questions from Arsenal fans are there to be asked is basically, I could be wrong, but I think it's not unfair to sit there and think that Arsenal fans will be waiting for a drop-off from Man City. And then when Man City do drop off, we, from Arsenal fan perspective, will win the league. You'll be primed to win it. But they did drop off. That Arsenal fans have essentially waited for years to happen happened this year. It happened, and they're still not going to win it. My question would be, put it another way. Arsenal are in the situation where the best way I put it. Totally went out of my head, but still, because I don't care about Arsenal, I suppose. But
yeah, I know what you're saying.
They're against the oil state. I mean, they're against two oil states and former Russian oligarch. I know they're not owned by that now. Arguably, why do people forget we've had one of the worst seasons ever for injury? Because I don't care, Sam.
Every team's had injuries to key players.
You will not find a team that hasn't had an injury to key player. We've had injuries to key players.
You had an option to buy players in January and you didn't. Like we did. We didn't. So you've got... What I'm saying is you've got grounds to want more when it comes to Arteta.
I'll put this in a more succinct / Tom fashion, whether that can be a adjective or whatever. But I would be far more lenient on Arsenal. No, I know what you mean, Sam. But I would be far more lenient on Arsenal in this situation if I hadn't been sent a meme about Leeds failing and about my kids being picked on. You picked on my under 18, Sam.
Yeah,
You picked on my kids. You picked on my kids, and I can't be having that. You picked on my kids, so I'm gonna fuck your adults. Am I joking? I'm just talking shit. I'm not talking about you, Tom. I'm talking about the negative Nancy's. We've had a lot more than the normal amount of injuries. I suppose that's fair. Arsenal are in a situation where we need to get rid of Arteta. Like you showed, Mr. Tom, trust the process. There ain't one, in my opinion. There ain't a process, Anthony Herbert is saying. If Liverpool lost our front line for months, I think they would have struggled. Yeah, but Russ, I sat in a chat where you literally said, on the night where I believe you went on to win 7-1 against PSV, you were like, I don't want to win this game. Don't want to win this game because Real Madrid have beat us anyway. Like, why even bother playing? Why even bother getting out of bed to support the club? If you don't want to play Real Madrid. And that's the mentality of a lot of Arsenal fans. Why do you want to be in the big games if when you're in them, you don't want to play them?
I think Madrid are beatable by Arsenal.
They are absolutely beatable by Arsenal. There's no reason they're not. They're not. I have more faith in Arsenal beating them than a lot of Arsenal fans have. Which counts for absolute fuck all, by the way. Because my opinion on football is basically meaningless. But still, just have a weird memory for stuff. But in all seriousness, just don't pick on my kids, alright? Just don't pick on my kids. Like, don't pick on my under 18s getting thrashed. Do you know a 14-year-old from Man United scored 2 goals in 2 minutes? It's a thing that happened. I know far too much about the under 18 game. Anyway, that sounded a lot weirder in a minute. But no, in all seriousness, it's been genuinely awesome. I can't believe we've gone for 2 hours, Ben. How the hell did we make 2 hours of content out of this fucking nonsense? And Director John as well.
We do.
We do.
With
Keep
a lot
my
of help
wife's
from our
name
friends.
out of your mouth. But no, in all seriousness, what did he say there? With Anderson for Mounts, Lucky Keller played well, but that could have been disastrous. I'm sick of these negative. Sorry, I was about to say negative Nancy's, like you said earlier, but he didn't. I'm sick of these Arsenal fans who want to be in the Champions League against Real Madrid, but then say we'll lose and just should give up. I don't think I've said anything unfair there.
No, not at all. Leeds fans are like that. A lot of them. It's negative. They don't know what they want. They want Dom Revy back.
John, with 2 hours of hate goes by fast.
It's April, John. It's April.
Arteta plays players when 100% not fit, Sam. That's why we get a lot of them injuries, I imagine. If we win nothing next season, we have a fully squad available for the majority of it. Yes, Arteta's position should be called into question. Absolutely.
Fair one.
But I do have a question relating to Arsenal, and I don't expect you have the answer, Ben, but I just want to put it out there. Have Arsenal lost any game this season where it was because the other team played well, or is it because the referee fucked them?
Well, they've only lost 3. They've drawn 11. That's where the problem's been this season.
Yeah.
The draws.
But those 11, was any of them a deserved draw? As in, like, the other team basically, like, you know, scored or whatever it was, where, like, Arsenal didn't win. Yeah, There you go. There you go. This is what 100% what I was expecting. The ref has fucked us. Which is not true.
Everyone.
It's not true.
Find a football fan who don't blame the referee. We're all the same.
Arteta would get slated if he rested players more too. Like, why didn't X play today? So he can never win. But our results are good. Admittedly, Russ, I've not seen it. So to sit there and say whether you're right or wrong. So there on the side that you're probably right. But at the same time, I don't know. So it's not for me to say. I was too busy. I was too busy getting fucked off about my own football team, admittedly. Chris Nix with, ironically, the only topic about things we like was about dictators. I'm surprised, actually, the amount of times the word dictator has been said in the chat tonight. I'm genuinely surprised that Director John has not...
We should have that word of the week.
Director John has not put up a photo of a potato with a dick on it. I was very surprised from knowing John, because fucking Pepsi Lips was up here in seconds. John's sitting there thinking, why didn't I think of that?
This is a classy operation. I wouldn't lower ourselves.
Fucking classy operation. I love it.
As mentioned, he's the best. He's the best. John's the best. As mentioned earlier, no striker or anyone bought in January didn't help either, and that isn't Arteta's fault. He doesn't buy the players. The problem was Arteta didn't get a striker in January. The fucking duality of man. Two contrasting comments at the same time. Incredible. Because we don't know what a striker is. I like to chat about pot noodles. Pot noodle is seriously underrated. Whole pot noodles. Yes.
I broke my tooth on a pot noodle. On a fajita flavoured one.
Do you think Arteta buys the players, Anthony? And to think you rigged your quiz for someone that says things like that. Pole pot noodles for the win. Pole pot is the premier dictate. Yeah.
Should we do a show?
You know what?
It's a double whammy.
It's a double whammy. It's double whammy. I regret rigging the quiz now. Thank you. Thank you. At least you've admitted it, jokingly, of course. Have you ever had a pot rice from the same people?
Yeah, they're disgusting. They're not nice.
Russ Morgan with cheers, lads. Amazing show as always. I really didn't mean for it. I didn't think I had enough content to make it last as long as it has.
It's Golden Wonder, Zanzi. The same people would be Golden Wonder.
I had pot pasta things, Zanzi, and when Edu left, or Edu, sorry. Now we got Berta in. Edu. I have no idea, in all truth. I've probably said it as both over the years. If Arteta don't win anything next season, he should be sacked. But yes, don't forget to join us at the same time next week. And I could sit here and say 9:05 or whatever, but the reality is it'll probably be 9:07 because
it'll be when it is.
It's always 9:07. It's always 9:07.
Me and Tom like to talk before the game, before the show. So there you go.
Yeah.
And there was a late entry from John today, and that threw us. And then at 4 minutes past, Tom needed the toilet.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So yeah,
fun show as always. Thank you, Sam. Same for Russ Morgan. And that's the fellas. Pot rice looks great if you just chuck it on the floor. People look at it as though someone's just chucked up. That's actually quite good. Good show, lads. Thank you.
On a Saturday night downtown, pot rice is all over the floor.
Arsenal will never buy a player in January. They hope that Havertz will stay for the same Kai Havertz that you all hated.
Shocking footballer.
Love you, Nels. Obviously, some reference in Sam Greenwood. And yes, so that is awesome. Have a good night, Gary, and have
Night,
a good
Gary.
birthday, sir.
Love you, Gary. Happy birthday, mate. Take care.
Of you, El Crossy Socko, my favourite. You know what? I forgot to put out a tweet at the show, didn't I? Yeah. No, I didn't. Night, Gary, you slag, says Sam Greenwood. And love you, El Crusty Socko, my favourite Bristol Butlins wrestler. So, where is Nails? Who's the boss now, boss man? Yeah. I suppose we should end the show, because John's going to start the timer on how long it takes us to end the show.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, excuse me, this is generally the part of the show where we show reverence for Director John. But obviously, we love Director John and the work that he does for the show, because he obviously gives us a lot of help with this, and he's the best. He's the best in the business. But also, as it's Gary's birthday, we're going to show Gary doing Gary things. Old Gary shakes fist at Cloud.
We could only show 3 seconds because we didn't want suing by don't waste the tweet or the trip.
He is a litigious man. He is a very litigious man.
Now, we love Gary too.
Have a good night.
Have a great day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. See you next week.
Don't forget to follow our sister shows.